Welcome to the Seniors Rock Show, presented by the Law Office of Michael Robinson, PC, on News Radio Wham 1180. The Seniors Rock Show, a lively weekly discussion shining a bright light on aging with fun, entertainment, and important info for all adults. Join in with your comments or questions. Call or text 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now from the News Radio Wham 1180 studio in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Well, hello, and thank you for joining me today. And of course, my co-host, estate planning and elder law attorney, Mike Robinson. He's here with me, as well as Pam, the producer that joins us from downtown. And hi, Pam. How are you today?
Very good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you guys. And I just wanted to mention that we're going to dedicate this hour as we go forward to our furry and not so furry, four-legged and finned friends. We're talking about pets today, and they're beloved members of our families. And today, the show will focus on healthy aging and entertainment, like we always do. But we're going to recognize that with pets' experiences too, and how we might help them through the frail years because they also have them. In fact, I have a couple of little dogs here at home, Sky and Ming, and I often joke that it's like a little doggy nursing home in the living room when they take their naps in the afternoon. So I'm looking forward to this hour ahead and planning ahead for your later years, like we say all the time on this show is a very good idea. And I know Michael will agree with me. And if you have a pet, planning ahead for them also makes sense, right? So today we'll talk about that. And also talk with someone who started a business to support people in their grief after losing a beloved pet. And I've been there. I'm sure a lot of you have. And it's a tough thing to go through. So Rick Harris Jr., and he's going to join Mike and I to share how his family's funeral business for people led to Pets at Peace for animals. So Rick will tell us about the options available now to help our friends cross the Rainbow Bridge. And you might be surprised at how beautiful this experience could be. And we're no longer able to care for your pets if you're not. I mean, if you at some point, if you're not able to, or something happens, an emergency, what will happen to them? I think about that. And as a responsible guardian, it is important to think about what to do with your pets in an emergency or when you are not there to care for them. And the last few years has taught us things change quickly. So planning for the unexpected now will prevent your pets from an uncertain future, just like planning for our own estates helps for the future too, for our families. And I'm going to ask my co-host. He's the guy that knows the answers to these things, estate planning and elder law attorney Mike Robinson. Mike, how can we be sure our pets are taken care of? That's my question for you today. I know you usually have a listener's question, but I'd like to jump in with my own in that one. But before you answer me, I wanted to ask a couple of days ago, I believe, you celebrated 36 years in business with the law office of Michael Robinson.
That
Congrats.
is that is correct. Hi, happy Saturday. Yep, it's been 36 years, and we had a little celebration here at the office. Some cake and some other goodies and whatnot, and yeah, it was fun. And it's always good to recognize those sorts of markers.
Yeah, and that cake looked pretty good. I'm sorry I wasn't there to partake.
It was very delicious. There's actually a little bit left because I've been very disciplined with it over the last few days. Proud of myself to leave it alone. Uh, but
I
yeah,
know
no,
you.
that was fun. It was a fun day, and as I say, it's nice to take a moment to reflect back and lots of help along the way, lots of luck along the way, but it's been a fun ride.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. 36 years, it goes by in a flash, but yeah, a lot of wonderful memories, no doubt. And anyway, let's go back to the question because I'm starting to drift here with what's going on and all the memories that I have in my head here, and then I'm starting to think about pets again. But anyway, let's go back to the question about pets. What do we do, Mike? You know about planning. How can we be sure our pets are taken care of if we are not around to do it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Rick's going to be joining us to talk about, how do we handle affairs when our pet dies. But The flip side to that is what happens when our pets outlive us. And it is very common, as you said, for pet owners to forget to include provisions for their pets in their estate plans. And, yet it's not at all uncommon for pets to outlive their owners. Dogs and cats easily can live 10 years or more. Horses, more than 20 years. Birds, such as cockatoos and macaws, can live 50 years and more. And if you have a pet tortoise, he or she typically lives between 50 and 100 years. So, too often when a pet owner dies, what happens is there are no provisions made, and the animal either ends up on the street or is euthanized. So, it is important to make provisions for the care of your pet, and one of the best ways to do that is with a pet trust. And I know for some people, the term pet trust probably conjures up images of Leoma Helmsley, who so famously left millions of dollars to her dog. But pet trusts actually are a very practical way to ensure that your pet will be properly cared for after you pass away. So, with a pet trust, it allows you to set aside funds to be used for the care of your pet. um, Pets can be expensive. You don't want to put a financial burden on the person who will be caring for your pet. And the money that you set aside in your pet trust is legally required to be used for your pet's care. The person you name to be trustee of your pet trust has a fiduciary duty to use the funds you set aside for the purposes you specify. And the trustee can be held accountable if they don't do that. And that's important because unfortunately, people who are given money with the understanding it's to be used for a pet's care do wind up using it oftentimes for other purposes. The pet trust also allows you to name a caregiver for your pet, and that may well be someone different from the trustee. You may have a particular person in mind who's the best choice to care for your pet, and yet another person in mind who's the best choice to manage the money in your pet trust. And if there's any money left when your pet passes away, again, you get to direct where that goes, whether it's to a charity, to an individual, however you want to handle that. And of course, like any other component of an estate plan, you should review the provisions of your pet trust with your estate planning attorney at least every few years, because people's circumstances change and the person you named as caretaker or trustee may no longer be able to fulfill that role, or perhaps they no longer want to.
Oh, good points. And yeah, I'm wondering about having a webinar for pets. You could do that, you know. You could actually have people with their pets on the webinar.
Oh, I thought you meant one that the pets would watch.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but with their human.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we
I
do, that's something that in our educational webinars, that is something that we do address. And it's a question that often comes up. I think people would be surprised how many people actually do within their estate plans create a trust for their pets.
It makes sense. And how many people do you see with on Zoom meetings with pets crawling around them, cats and dogs walking behind them? And it's kind of funny, but um, yeah, those are important things. I mean, I'm joking here, but yeah, if you have questions for that, folks, there's another webinar coming up. It's a 90-minute estate planning webinar, and Mike is there, and it's free, and it's on March 30th, and that's at 2 o'clock. So if you haven't seen one of those, I encourage you to do that and to tell your friends and family. You can watch it with your pets or without them, and ask questions at the end in real time of Mike. And Mike, you really do have a way of connecting with people, and um, that's really good when it comes to complicated areas of estate planning. And it's a little easier for me and other lay persons to understand uh, how complicated it is when we have these discussions every week. And I love that the listeners are asking you questions because it makes it, easy for you to turn these more complicated things into stories, if you will, or answers that we can understand. So I love that. And I want to encourage listeners, even though I hogged up the space today with my question, please do, if you have a question for Mike, reach out to him at mrobinsonlaw.com. That's mrobinsonlaw.com, or you can even call the office and find him at 585-374-5210. And of course, he's here every week. And the other way to find him is seniorsrockradio.com. And we'd love to hear from everyone on that website as well. You can connect with myself, with Mike, with Pam, whatever. Just give us a comment, things you'd like to hear about. We really like to connect. So please do that. And if you're around today and you want to ask something, we're here. It's live. 585-222-1180. And we're going to be going to break here in another minute, but please know that you can call if you'd like. And if we can't get to you on the air, we will get back to you another way. There's lots of ways now, right?
That is true. Sometimes we get back to folks via email. That's sometimes the best way to connect with them. And you're right, Joanne. I do like the questions because we want to make sure that the information we're giving our listeners is relevant to them.
Yep.
And one of the best ways to do that is to answer the questions that they send in.
Absolutely. So, folks, don't be shy. Ask a question. And we're going to be back in a few minutes here. I think you're going to enjoy the show. We're dedicating it to pets. We're calling it the Yappy Hour. So stay tuned. We'll be right back on News Radio WHAM 1180.
The law office of Michael Robinson, PC, has helped families protect their hard-earned wealth from nursing home expense, probate, and taxes. Visit us online to register for our free educational webinar to learn how you can protect you and your family. mrobinsonlaw.com.
Love your pets because they're the best. Take care of them. Give them water and food and treats when they're good and play with them.
And welcome back to the Seniors Rock Radio Show. I'm estate planning and elder law attorney Mike Robinson here with host Joanna Pelvino, and we are here every Saturday from noon until 1. And we're talking about pets today. And oftentimes when we talk about pets, people share stories about, well, when I was a kid, I had a whatever, fill in the blank. So if you have a pet story you'd like to share with us, give us a call at 585-222-1180. We'd be happy to hear it.
Yes, please do call. And, I like pet names. I always get a kick out of the pet names. Pam, what's your pet's name? You have a dog, right?
Yep, her name is Lucy. I call her Lucy Bella.
Ah, that's
She's a
great.
mini golden doodle. She's my baby.
Ah, love it. I know you're a big dog lover. And I've got some other ones that when I was growing up, we had a parakeet named Chucky, and then we had a dog named Toot. We had John had a dog named Inky, and my brother had a beautiful golden retriever that lived to be 17, Trudy Blue. And you know what that's from? A song that you probably recognize, right, Mike? Trudy Blue, you know that?
I don't.
Is that the Allman Brothers? No?
I don't
Um,
think so.
Wait, no. Yes. Trudy Blue. It's in the song.
It,
Uh-oh.
you
Now
got me. You
yeah, me
got
too.
me.
Anyways, my foggy head today. And then of course my favorite is the pit bull that we know now, and his name is Bacon.
Yeah.
Which is quite appropriate. It's funny. Did you have any pets growing up, Mike?
I did. I did. I had a couple of dogs when I was young, and I had the, obligatory hamster and goldfish. By the way, those are probably the only two pets you don't have to plan for. I don't, in my experience, goldfish and hamsters never outlive their owners.
Yeah, and weird thing about the goldfish, I know when we were growing up, they always used to jump down the sink during the night. I mean, we'd go to bed and the next day we were like, Dad, where did the goldfish go? Anyway, so those things happen, that's just what happens. But um I need your help here, Mike.
So, well, one thing I wanted to talk about is, one of for people with pets, people who want to have pets, one of the great resources we have in the area is Lollipop Farm, which is part of course, the Monroe County Humane Society. And I know one of the interesting things they have, Joanna, and you know about it, the Seniors for Seniors Adoption Program.
Yes, it's an excellent program. Thank you. I had a little technical difficulty there. And Yeah, it's true. They do have a program called Seniors for Seniors, and they have counselors actually, Lollipop Farm expert adoption counselors, and they help you to select the dog as long as you are the adopter is 60 years of age or older, and the pets that they have, and there's a lot of them. Believe me, there's a lot of pets needing help in a home, and as long as they're 6 years old, which really isn't that old for a pet, you can adopt them, and it is a free adoption. The fee is completely waived, and they make sure that it fits your lifestyle, that the pet, that your housing situation is right for the dog or the cat. Maybe they check for a yard, that kind of stuff. They work with you to make sure everything will work when you have the pet at home. And this free adoption includes all of the regular benefits included with adoption, like spay and neutering, vaccinations. All these things can really add up, I know, with two dogs. And there's also a microchip implant. So you can make sure that if they get lost, you can find them again. And free registration and follow up for health exams with participating veterinarians and a new pet welcome kit. So it's a wonderful program, Seniors for Seniors at Lollipop Farm. That's our local humane society. And all you have to do is visit Lollipop Farm. Either there, go to the adoption center yourself, or go online and let them know you're interested in Seniors for Seniors adoption. And then just enjoy the love. That's all you have to do.
Exactly. And it is a great program because, very often an elder would like the companionship of a dog or a cat, but doesn't want a puppy or a kitten, that is super high energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And children learn a lot from having an animal, right? And so, since we're the Seniors Rock Show, it's only fitting that we're going to mention that older people also enjoy the benefits, like we did about the seniors to seniors. But there's also a lot of benefits to us just being with animals that reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, eases loneliness and depression, and it can increase physical activity when you take them for walks or just play in the house. I run around with the dogs all the time, and we get a good laugh out of that. Even though Sky's 13, she still ramps it up and acts like a puppy sometimes. And we play hide and seek. She's pretty smart. She's a Westie, so I love her. It's a great thing for me, and someday I'm going to have to deal with her going over the Rainbow Bridge. So I'm looking forward to talking to Rick in the next segment we have coming up. And where are we here?
We are going to the news break. So hang on, folks. We're going to be back after the news and talk about Pets for Peace.
I'm Rick Harris Jr. People ask me all the time why families turn to Pets at Peace when they lose a beloved pet. One reason is because we're the only pet cremation provider with a background in death, dying, and loss. Pets at Peace really has changed how pet cremation is handled. We're proud to be the first company in our area to offer private cremation, a stainless steel tracking system, and the return of your pet within 72 hours or less. We proudly serve all veterinary hospitals in and around Monroe County. Call Pets at Peace at 585-544-2041 because your pet is part of the family.
Effortlessly healthy meals are fresh, fully prepared, ready to eat, and hand delivered. As a senior, I appreciate the 10% discount, and I love the never frozen big variety of heart healthy meals I get to choose from each week. Effortlessly Healthy is locally owned. Meals are perfect to send to a senior loved one. Just heat and eat. Effortlessly Healthy, delicious food, convenience, and a 10% senior discount. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay home. ehmeals.com, ehmeals.com, 585-254-0078.
Go, go run free to where the grass is always green, beyond the rainbow bridge, where skies are blue. Go, go
Welcome
run
back to
free.
Seniors Rock and our Yappy Hour this week dedicated to pets. And our guest today is Rick Harris Jr. He's the owner and CEO of Pets at Peace and COO of Harris Funeral Home, which was founded by Rick's grandfather 75 years ago. And Rick was inspired to pursue a career in funeral service during his early years, following in the footsteps of not only his grandfather, but his father. Rick holds an AAS in mortuary science and has been a New York State licensed funeral director since 2000. In 2009, Rick co founded Pets at Peace Memorial Creation Services, which, as I said, he now serves as president and CEO. Rick has also received his certification as a certified funeral celebrant and is a former president of the Rochester Genesee Valley Funeral Directors Association. Rick, welcome to the Seniors Rock Show.
Hey, thanks for having me. How are you?
Very well, thank you, and happy day before spring.
That's
Hi,
right.
Rick.
Happy spring. Hi, Joanna. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Great to have you on the air again. It's been a while. And speaking of a while, I know your family, Mike mentioned, has been celebrating this year 75 years of service in the funeral business. So congrats on that, number one.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
yeah, and that's been for people. But today, as you know,
Right.
we're concentrating on pets. So I'm going to ask you the first question will be, how did your family start Pets at Peace? Tell our listeners.
Yeah. So, around 2008, we're going through some trials and tribulations of our own dogs, not doing well, and my dog Jesse's in and out of the vet hospital, and you go through your main vet, and sometimes you get forward on to specialists and whatnot, and my dog was, sick for a long time, and I got to that point where, I had to make the decision to put her down, and that's a hard decision to make, and a lot of grief that you go through, and as a funeral director, we see firsthand how people are treated, and where they go if they're at the hospital and the process, and that's what we're experts in. That's what we do, and when I started to ask those questions to our local vet hospitals of, what happens to my dog, I was kind of blown away by, how things were being handled for cremation, because it's not the way it's happened, it happens for humans. And so, I ended up burying my dog on my property. But, this was kind of lit a fire under me to, move forward and look a little bit more into pet cremation. And so, a lot of research was done, and in 2009, we opened up the door to Pets at Peace and really just mimicked everything after how we do things at the funeral home, and, our tracking, our care, our compassion, and, our grief and ethics. And with that, we've grown, over here over the last 12, 13 years, and, take care of the whole family in our perspective.
And I can imagine, Rick, that's really appreciated by the families. Does someone have to go through their veterinarian to contact you for services?
No, while we take care of, 20 something vets on a daily basis, we get a lot of direct calls. Our phones are 24/7, so we get, calls all the time from people directly, asking us, that their pet has passed away at home, or their pet's going to pass away at home, or they use a vet that's not part of somewhere we normally go. And so, we go everywhere, whether it's, vet hospitals or homes or, wherever we're called to.
That's right. And so, folks, remember, if you do want to get Pets at Peace and their service, and I know from personal experience with my friends, not myself yet, but it will be happening at some point. I know that. I said, sky's 13. And I do know that it's been a great experience, Rick. Thank you for what you do for families, because it really is support. And, the words that I hear when my friends describe it is, just caring, thoughtful, all the things that you would expect from Harris Funeral Home. So thank you. And I'm going
Oh,
to ask you: is cremation the only type of burial you offer for pets? You mentioned earlier burying your pet in the yard, years ago. I know some people
yeah.
still do that, but tell us about: are there natural resources now for that?
So, while I would say cremation is probably about 99% of what we offer, occasionally we do help in burial services. What could be done on your property. There's things that you have to really kind of look into to see if you want to bury on your property. It's not for everybody. Sometimes you're not going to be at that home forever. So if it's your forever home, you have big property, a lot of land, I think it works. But I would say probably, in our area where we live, probably 95% of the people go ahead with cremation. But there are burial options out there. And if you're not doing it on your own property, there are, areas in the southern tier where you can go for burial to do a, full burial of your pet. But as far
Mm-hmm.
as the ashes, you can really do anything that you want with your pet's cremated remains. You can bury those on your property. You can keep them on your mantle. And I'll tell you what we're seeing a lot of over the last 10, 15 years is when people pass away, they want their pets to go with them. So whether they're buried in a casket or they're cremated, they want their pet's ashes, commingled and scattered together and, to be together again. And I think that's a very comforting thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like to think of them as being at the gate waiting for us for sure. And
Mm.
now I as far as the burial options and the I guess I'm thinking about services because that's what you do. You're so good at that with people. I know you
Hmm.
have a room there. Tell the folks about the room you have
Oh,
for families so they can gather.
sure. Yeah, we have a room. It's called the Rainbow Bridge Room. Very fitting of the pets, crossing the Rainbow Bridge, and it's a very nice, peaceful, tranquil room for people to come to. A lot of times for families, when a pet dies, especially if they have small children, this is really everybody's first experience, and so we have a really calming, beautiful room for people to come to be able to say goodbye to their pets. They can have a private goodbye. Um, we've gone as far as, police officers losing dogs and, creating videos and doing tributes and actually holding, if you will, some sort of service or even like a mini calling hours, if you will. But basically it's a room for people to come to be able to say goodbye to their pet in a very compassionate, caring way.
Mhm. And such an education for children, as you said, to, have that first experience with a pet. And uh, do you have keepsakes on site? Because I know that's a big thing now too, the jewelry and the things like that, as you mentioned, the different options uh, to do.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right at our facilities, we have many different types of urns and keepsakes. Things that can be engraved and pictures put into them. And Joanna, you're right. The keepsake jewelry has also, become very very popular. A lot of people want to get their pet's paw prints on jewelry. We do a lot of thumbprints for on the human side. But the jewelry is very big, and you get to wear that around, and that's another one thing. It's very comforting, and as you go through this process of grief, these are little things that are good little helpers.
Yeah, sure. And I think families just appreciate that so much. Rick, we're going to be headed to break here shortly. How do folks get a hold of you?
Well, they can call us directly, 544-2041, or we have a wonderful website. It's petsatpeace.harrisfuneralhomes.com.
Yeah, that website's awesome, folks. Check it out. There's a lot of great information there for people and for pets. So, Rick, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon, and we're going to go out to break now. Thanks for staying with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Hi, Mike Robinson here. We've all seen a lot of changes this past year. One thing that hasn't changed in over 35 years at the law office of Michael Robinson is our commitment to protect you and your family from nursing home expense, probate, and taxes. Let us guide you and your family in creating a custom-crafted estate plan to protect your legacy. Call us at 374-5210 or visit us at mrobinsonlaw.com.
People dancing, people laughing, a man selling ice cream, singing Italian song. Everybody is can you dig it? Yes, I can, and I've been waiting such a long time.
Hi, you're listening to Seniors Rock Radio. I'm Joanna Palvino, your host, and I'm here with my co host, estate planning and elder law attorney Mike Robinson. Now, that song, Saturday in the Park, is an appropriate song for all of us, I think. And, we've been waiting for some time now to get out after the last couple of years. So, Saturday's the day to do it. And I don't know if the weather's going to be good today, but I know the whole world around us is confusing. And checking the weather's the least of it. And it leads to a lot of feeling, Mike, I feel like there's a lot of mixed emotions and it's okay. I guess what I want to say to listeners is it's okay because I think we're all going through it. And most days is like a roller coaster. And I'll give you an example. Flying high for me one day, hearing about a new baby coming in the family, and then watching the Ukrainian people being forced to evacuate their homes and countries and feeling like I was punched in the gut. And that up and down, really leaves us feeling with a sense of unease. So I just wanted to bring it up and talk about it, the elephant in the room, because we always try to be so positive. But that feeling, I guess, to be positive could be a call to action. So you could take it and do what you can and talk to others, even if that's all you can do. Tell them how you're feeling, share your, that so they know that they're not alone and you're not alone. Um, we hope you're feeling support from this show every week, and we just wanted to bring that up. So we're here for you, and I want to thank our sponsors, Mike Robinson, and our other sponsors, and they're the reasons that we're here every week because of their support. And I'm sorry I'm really stuffy, so thanks for dealing with me today. And Mike, I think this week's a big event. Can want to tell us about the lifespan event?
Yeah, well, Lifespan, of course, they're a sponsor of the show, and this week is their 25th celebration of aging and 50th anniversary luncheon for them. And it's coming up this Thursday, March 24th at the Riverside Convention Center. And this year's guest speaker is Olympian and humanitarian Scott Hamilton. And he's going to motivate all of us with his amazing story and not just about skating. You'll really be astonished at what Scott has been through and how he keeps a positive attitude, which is catching for everyone. Everyone's welcome to the event. It does benefit Lifespan. Tickets are available on the Lifespan website, and that is lifespan-roch.org. So lifespan-roch.org for tickets. And it's
Yeah, that's
always
going
a
to be
good
fun.
time.
hmm And I'm hoping I'm feeling a little better because obviously I'm stuffy. I hope Uh, that hasn't been bothering anyone except for me. And next week, folks, we have heart, hearing, and balance coming up because I've been feeling a little dizzy. I shared that with the folks here earlier, and they're going to be talking about feeling dizzy and balance. So that'll be a good show next week, Mike. And the Hart family have been doing that stuff for a long time, and they're very good at it. And we're going to have a guest from Heart, Hearing, and Balance. So I'm looking forward to that and to getting better before that too.
There you go. And hopefully you'll get outside to enjoy some of the spring weather. And boy, it is starting to feel like spring, isn't it though?
Oh yeah, I love it. It's in the air. The smell is in the air, and you know what I see is and hear. Speaking of hard hearing, is the birds, and there's a lot of them down here on near the lake. I'm sure there are by you too, because you're by the park, and it is like they're everywhere, and they're just so excited and all tweeting, and it's fun to hear. That's to me, it's like they say that bird symphony or whatever. It's really cool.
I started to notice the change the beginning of the week. And yeah, the bird song is definitely different. And the last few days, I've been hearing robins constantly, and it's just great. It's a real spirit lifter when when it gets a little bit warmer. We can start spending some more time outside without having 15 layers on. It's always a treat.
Mhm. Yeah, and speaking of animals, they have these. I was going to mention Lollipop Farms website's amazing, and I learned some things looking at that today. And they have what they call spirit cats. Did you ever hear of that?
I have not.
Well,
Spirit cats.
yeah, they're like little night ninjas, I guess. They are cats that have been adopted where they don't really know what their background was. So these little cats are afraid of people and they don't know why, but they don't come out except for at night and they kind of sneak around at night when everyone's sleeping. So they call them spirit cats. But
Ah,
they're up for adoption if you'd like to have one of those creeping around.
my son and his wife have a spirit cat. They
Really?
adopted from a shelter, and they knew that the cat had been abused. And they've had it for well over a year now, and still does not do well with them. Does well with their
Aw,
other cat, but is very skittish around people, even them.
how sweet of them to do that. That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of good-hearted people out there. I think you're pretty good-hearted. What do you say?
I'd like to think so. And on that note, everybody have a wonderful week. Be well and be kind.
And I'll say, enjoy your pets. Enjoy the cuddle, enjoy being with them, and always remember whether they're pets or people, seniors rock.